Welcome back to Tea with a Taurus. Go ahead and pour yourself a cup of tea, get comfortable, and let's spend a little time together. In last week's episode, I mentioned something almost in passing. I said that one of the reasons I wanted to take a short trip to the beach was because I wanted to spend time with my youngest son while I still could. After I finished recording, that sentence stayed with me. It made me realize there was a whole conversation hidden inside those few words. Because my son is 16, almost 17. He drives, he has his own plans, his own interests, his own friends, his own life that's beginning to stretch further and further beyond our little home. And that's exactly what's supposed to happen. But knowing it's supposed to happen doesn't always make it easy. When our kids are little, they need us for everything. They need us to tie their shoes, to buckle their seatbelts, to read one more bedtime story, to kiss scraped knees, to answer impossible questions, to make pancakes shaped like Mickey Mouse, to scare away the monsters under the bed. They reach for our hand without thinking. They ask us to watch every cartwheel, every drawing, every trick they've learned. And somewhere along the way, without us really noticing, those moments become fewer. One day you realize they no longer ask you to tie their shoes. Then they stop asking you to help them pick out their clothes or wash their clothes. Then they don't even need you to drive them anywhere. They start making plans that don't include you. And not because they love you less, because they're growing exactly the way they're supposed to. I've been thinking a lot lately about how parenting is really a lifetime of tiny goodbyes. Not dramatic goodbyes, quiet ones. The last time they asked you to carry them. The last bedtime story. The last time they wanted you to push them on the swings. The last first day of elementary school. The last time they reached for your hand without hesitation. The last lost tooth. The funny thing is, most of the time, we don't realize it's the last time until long after it's already passed. And maybe that's why these seasons feel so bittersweet, because we don't get warnings. Life simply keeps moving. I don't think the hardest part of parenting is the sleepless nights or the toddler tantrums. I think the hardest part is learning to let go a little more each year. To trust that everything you've spent years teaching them has taken root. To watch them make decisions. To watch them make mistakes. To resist stepping in every single time. If I'm being honest, that's been one of the hardest lessons for me. I still want to protect him from disappointment. I still want to solve problems before they become bigger problems. I still want to make sure he chooses the best path. But that's not my job anymore, not in the same way. As our kids grow, our role changes. We move from being their manager to being more of their guide, from making decisions for them to helping them think through their decisions, holding their hand to standing nearby if they need one. And that's a transition I don't think we talk about enough, because letting go doesn't happen all at once. It happens one little goodbye at a time. one more piece of independence, one more decision they make without us, one more reminder that they're becoming exactly who they are meant to be. And maybe that's what makes moments like our beach trip feel so special. I know there will come a day when spending a weekend with mom won't be at the top of his list. There'll be college and work and relationships and sports, a family of his own someday, maybe. And that's how life is supposed to unfold. Knowing that didn't make me sad during our trip, but it made me present. I paid attention. I laughed a little bit longer. I enjoyed our conversations. I appreciated that just for this weekend, out of all the places that he could have chosen to be, he chose to spend that time with me. And maybe that's all we can really ask for. Not to hold on tighter, not to stop time, but to notice it while it's here. If you're listening today and your children are little, I hope you soak in the hugs and the bedtime stories. Not because every moment is magical, let's be honest. Some moments are completely exhausting. But because this season won't last forever. And if your children are teenagers like mine, I hope you remember that their growing independence isn't a sign that you've become less important. It's evidence that you've spent years preparing them to stand on their own. That's something worth celebrating, even when it's hard. Because love changes as our children grow. When they're little, love looks like holding on. As they get older, sometimes love looks like letting go. Before we finish today, I'd like to leave you with a question. Instead of asking yourself, how do I hold on to this season? What if you asked, how can I be fully present for the season I'm in? Because every season has something beautiful to offer, and every season eventually becomes a memory. Thank you for spending a little time with me today. Whether your children are toddlers, teenagers, grown adults, or whether you're simply reflecting on someone you love, I hope today's conversation reminds you that love isn't measured by how tightly we hold on. Sometimes it's measured by how courageously we let go. Until next time, be kind to yourself, stay grounded, and keep moving forward, one steady step at a time. I'll see you next episode.